Hello everyone, how are you? It's Kei. This is the 17th of September 2022 on Saturday. So today's topic is about the psychology, especially about the making mistakes and how to avoid making mistakes and losses. I have created a slide, and based on that slide, I will talk about this topic. So like this, every Saturday, I talk about the risk management or the psychology management topics because markets are closed. And tomorrow, I will be doing the weekly forecast. So I hope you enjoy the video or the live stream until the end of today and learn something new from my YouTube channel. Yeah, so let me switch screen and let me get ready here. Oh, by the way, I looked back the recent live streams and the BGM are very big. The background music was very good, very big. So I lowered the volume. So I hope it's okay in today's live. Okay, so let's see. Thanks for joining everyone. Good to see you. All right, TSM and Tony Gold and Gayan, good to see you. Rajesh and Win Ents and Buddha and Richard, John Hera and Arvid, Sammy and everyone else, thank you for joining. Today is Saturday, so I think you are relaxing at home, taking a day off and charging energy to trade next week. Okay, so let me see. Okay, so now let me switch screen. So I have the slide, so let me show it to you right now. So today's topic is about how to stop making the same mistakes over and over again. The mistakes or the losses over and over again. Because we tend to make mistakes without knowing, unconsciously. We make mistake or losses and afterwards, you know you made the mistake again. So, but we have to avoid. We have to avoid because the only way to get success in trades is to keep improving and keep learning from our mistakes. So, and recently I get the comments and emails about this mistake and how to avoid mistakes, and that's why I selected the topic for today. Okay, but my first question to everyone is, how would you avoid making mistakes, or how would you stop making the same mistakes? In your opinion, in general, not for the trades, but also in general, how would you avoid making mistakes? If you have any ideas or answers, please let me know in the chat, and I'm happy to see some comments and ideas from you and also. Yep. All right, Powell and Dao, Danish and Kabwe, thank you for joining everyone. Great to see you again. So I got the email like this. He says, I've been trading for the last 3 years, but I'm still struggling because I feel I'm making the same mistakes over and over again and never feel like I'm improving. What is your advice to me? Was the email I got. So he uses stay gold, so it's really nice of him. But yeah, he has been trading for the 3 years. For 3 years, he's been trading, but still struggling, and because he feels he's been making mistake. Same thing over and over again. And never feel like I'm improving. So what is the advice or how to avoid the mistakes over and over again in your opinion? Please let me know. And today I have selected 5 answers, 5 ideas about this based on my experience. So maybe that one of them or some of them may be together. I mean, it might be the same with you. But yeah, let's see. I see some comments now. N says, by having set rules to your trading and stick to them always. Right, okay. Yeah, we have the rules to follow and stick to the rules. Yes, that is correct. Yeah, that is really important. Yeah, Richard says I use a checklist. Right, checklist, you check make sure you don't forget anything on the checklist. So that's one way to avoid mistakes. Yeah, that's good. All right, well, thank you for joining. Salem, thanks for the comment. Thanks so much. Gian, good to see you too. All right, Mara says using a journal to highlight the common errors. Okay. Yeah, highlight common errors and try not to make the same mistake again in the future trades. Okay. So again, I have 5 ideas to reply this kind of questions. And my first idea is this. My first idea is, okay, so this is the topic for those who feel he keeps making mistakes over and over again. And I think when he feels sad but never improve, then he might be keeping mistakes over and over again. So that's one. Feel sad or feel depressed when you lose, but never get improved on that area. Right, so when you make a mistake, this is my question, but when you make a mistake, do you feel sad or do you feel depressed? Again, you can replace mistake as a loss also. When you make a loss, do you feel sad or do you feel depressed? Maybe not only once, but a couple of times consecutive, maybe twice, 3 times. If you make the same mistakes, then you may be feeling sad or depressed. So this is about the low self-esteem. Like you may hate yourself, you may don't like yourself by the fact that you keep repeating the same mistakes and feel like not trading. You may feel like that. Or also you may reflect on what went wrong and how can improve. You may think like that. But if you never improve based on mistakes, then there is no way to keep going. Right? So mistakes are okay. I mean, I don't really say that mistakes are bad, losses are bad. I never say that. Mistakes are okay. We are all imperfect, so we all make mistakes. We all make some like errors. But these mistakes and errors and losses are not really bad. So, but if you feel sad by making mistakes but never improve, then you may repeat again. So my advice for those who feel sad but never improve is this. My advice is, first time mistake is okay. I mean, it's a progress. You know it's a progress. And second time mistake is okay too, because it's a confirmation. You know it's a mistake, you knew it, and you did it again. And it's okay to make sure and confirm that you never do this again and third time. But when you make the third mistake again, then it will be no. You never want to make mistake again. You never want to make the same mistake again on the third time. So this is like the commitment yourself. So we all make mistakes. Mistakes itself are actually not bad, but rather they actually teach you how to improve. So in a sense, it's good. But the ignorance of mistakes is bad, is what I wanted to say today. So when you do that, then focus on how to improve your trades is my best advice for this. And this is my first idea based on my experience, because when I was a newbie or when I was still losing, I was losing for the first 2.5 years after I started my full-time career I kept losing and losing, and I was making mistakes over and over again. Sometimes I forget about the stop loss to place, or sometimes I forget about certain things to change, certain things to check and confirm, and then I took trades. And after I took the entry, I forgot to draw the lines, I forgot to check the candlestick confirmations, and then took the trade, and the market went back and hit the stop loss, or I made losses. And I did these mistakes over and over again. So this is based on my experience. And whenever I make a mistake, whenever I lose and I make a loss, then I felt very sad and I got depressed actually. I got depressed one time when I lose big account, and I had to go to the psychiatrist and took the medication to cure depression. It took me about half a year to cure depression. So it was a big pain psychologically. But looking back, I never tried to improve, but rather I was looking for another strategy that may work for me, rather than improving my own trades. But I was looking for some other advice, some other strategies that may work for me, and that was my big mistake. So from then, my focus was to improve, what to improve and how to improve, and that stayed actually my focus on what I do in my strategy. So that is my first comment or first idea on how to improve, how not to repeat the same mistakes over and over again. Okay, I see some comments. Let me see. Dinesh says backtest until you find a system that works for you. Right, backtest is important because numbers do talk. Emotion doesn't really talk in trades, but numbers do talk. So backtest and look at the numbers is really important. Right. Pavel says, how to stop doing mistakes again and again? I think you have to start writing your trades down with all the conditions and reasons for taking a particular trade. If it turns out that you make a mistake, you can always come back to your writing and not to do it again. This way you realize why you make a mistake and you will not do it again. That's right. Putting down the journal is really the key, right? This is part of improving your trades also. So simply instead of just feeling sad, feeling depressed, you take the journal and you analyze your own emotion change. So that when the same thing may happen in the future, then you know what to do. Objectively, you can look yourself in that way. Yeah, that is important. Yes. Alfonso, thanks for joining. Tony Gold says it's a part of building your confidence. Just keep learning and develop your psychological skills. Yes, part of learning. That is true. Yes, no one's perfect. That's true. Oscar says, hi Keisen, at the end of the day, success is not about not losing the enthusiasm after every failure. That is right. Yeah. So that means our motivation should not be making profits, but our motivation, our enthusiasm should be not losing, right? Not losing. That's why I say non-losing mindset is the key to success. Yeah, that's exactly right. But we are so easy to lose motivation, lose enthusiasm whenever things go wrong. Okay, so next idea of mine is this: blaming your own ability. This is also what I used to do, and this is, I think, typical in Asian countries, maybe, because I was blaming myself when I was making mistakes and losing profits. I thought I'm not smart enough, or I thought I'm doing my best but never success, and I may not never success. I thought like that. Also, I was thinking I'm not serious enough yet. I'm not serious enough. So when I kept losing and when I kept mistakes, I thought I have to read more books, I have to see more charts, I have to practice more, and I have to learn more. And I thought I'm not serious enough. This was my thinking, because I was blaming my own ability at that time. And back in my psychology, it was because I didn't want to face the reality. That's why I was looking for the reasons of why I keep failing without looking at the truth, looking at the reality of my trades. So my advice for those who blame yourself is this. No one wants to make mistakes, first of all. Yeah, we are not here to make mistakes. We're not here to make losses, but we are here to make profits. But we make losses. And that is actually the reality. So instead of focusing on your ability, focus on the strategy itself and look for the areas to improve on your strategy. Because strategy is logic, but we as human beings are emotional. So, but strategy protects you and helps you to avoid emotional trades, and that's why we have to have rules. Just like Powell said. So maybe you want to improve your own rules. Whenever you feel mistakes, you can refine your rules. Let's say, this is actually my case. One of the strategies I revised was I never trade when I'm full. Because when I'm full stomach, I lose focus, I lose concentration. So it's added on my rule. I never trade when I'm full stomach. So like this, strategy is not about the trading strategy, but more about the psychology strategy. Never trade when you're full was my case. Because sometimes, back in those days, sometimes I lost. I was so mad, I was upset, and I drank some beer and then took trades also. And it was almost like gambling. Or I ate a lot because of the stress. I ate a lot and then took the next trade. But that was really bad habit. So so that's added to my list. Never trade when I'm full. That was one. So look for the areas to improve your own strategy, but not blame your own ability. Also, look for a way you don't make mistakes again. So that's the areas to improve. So do not focus on your ability, but focus on your strategy itself. And follow the strategy with discipline. So that's my second advice to avoid mistakes in the future. Okay, Solomon says, "Hi Kei, can you list the most common mistakes and how best can we avoid it?" Yeah, that's exactly the topic for today. So yeah, until the end of the live today, you have a good idea, I think. Okay, Omar says, yeah, how are you today? I'm good, thank you. I'm thinking to take action with Ichimoku and Algo. Do you have any advice for combining Algo trade and Ichimoku? I'm not sure because I don't use Algo trades. I don't use EA, Algo, robots, so I'm not really sure. Okay, so let me check the next advice from me is, for those who say, I know, even if he doesn't know, may keep making the same mistakes. So this is about knowing, this is about knowing. So not knowing why I made a mistake, right? This is also, this is one type of the ignorance, I think, about the mistakes. Like if you don't know why I made a mistake, then you may not be able to like improve as much. So I think that's one part that is important. Also, not knowing why market went back, right? Because sometimes I used to forget drawing the support resistance lines in the past, or I forgot to check the candlesticks and or the news ahead. Then the market went back. And when the market went back against my direction and hit the stop loss, or when I made a loss, I was kind of upset in the past, and I didn't want to check the reason why the market went back. And then I didn't improve in that way, and then kept going in that time when I kept losing. So especially when you lose, we have to come up with an answer of why the market went backwards. And the answer can be anything, right? The answer should not be really correct. You know, sometimes the market just goes backwards without any reasons, but at least if you can come up with some reasons, then you know the reason, and you can apply that reason on the next trade. When the market comes back, you know the reason next time. So always check why. And always think yourself that you don't really know anything if you're still making mistakes. Also, was there anything wrong? Was my idea actually? So I didn't really care about the mistakes and losses because what's wrong with it? That was my mindset. So, and I used to take next trades without learning, without making efforts, and that was the type of mistake I think we may have. So my advice is accept that you don't know yet, right? We don't know. I don't know sometimes, for example, I don't know all the candles patterns, all the names of the candles patterns. Like there's a graveyard, there's a butterfly, there are so many names in the candles, but I don't know everything. So accept the fact that you don't know everything, right? And also know that you don't know also. This is kind of philosophical statement, but knowing what you don't know, because we cannot know everything. Also, do not focus on what you don't have to know. Again, we can't really know everything in the markets, so only focus on what you have to know. Master what you have to know is my advice. There are millions of indicators and strategies out there, and I used to hop around these indicators and strategies. I used to buy indicators and EAs and indicators, and I was applying here and there, but no success because I wasn't focusing on one strategy at a time. So let's say one day I bought the indicator that cost me like $200 USD and applied it on MT4, and I got the signals on the chart and took entries and exits, and I did it 5 times. I took 5 trades on that indicator, on that 200 indicator, and 5 times I failed. Everything I lost it. And that's when I stopped using that indicator and went to the website again and checked some of the indicator that may work, and then I bought that and tried. So, and that was my habit. Basically, I was looking for Holy Grail, and that's why I did it, because I was kind of rushed to make profits. But that was my big mistakes, because I wasn't really focusing on one strategy at a time. If I took 100 trades on that indicator, maybe it worked, but I was only trading 5 trades or 10 trades sometimes, and then I thought it doesn't work, so I was looking for the other indicator. So again, coming back to this topic, we have to know what you don't know is the key actually, because we cannot know everything. So master what you should know. And what you should know, for example, is the numbers. Like Dinesh said in the chat, we have to know the numbers, what numbers to focus, the win rate, or the profit factor, or drawdown. These numbers are important, right? Because they are universal. So it doesn't really matter how much you make, how much you lose. How much is not really important because it's subjective, and depending on how much you have, the ratio becomes different. So instead, you have to focus on the universal numbers. The ratio numbers is really important in trades. And this is one of the examples of what you should focus, what you should know. So master what you should know, and yeah, just forget about what you shouldn't know. You never want to spend time on what you shouldn't know. So this is another key to avoid the same mistakes again. Okay, yeah, let me see. Okay. Oh, Maru-san, thank you for joining. Good to see you here. It's been a while. All right, lovely to see you live. Hope you're doing well. I cannot get a hold of you. Oh, really? Okay. I think we can message by Discord. Yeah. Let me message you Discord. All right. Yeah, sorry about that. Okay, or the best way to reach me is always by email for everyone, because I always check emails every day. But the messages on social media, I sometimes get these spams and these too many messages, so sometimes I can't control. So yeah, thanks for joining today. Okay, and James says, looking back on losses on chart and saying get out here, not there, sorry, not here, as every strategy is not 100%. Know so much you are doing it wrong. Right, okay, yeah, so looking back on losses on the chart, right, is important. We have to always look back on mistakes and losses so that we know that wisdom from our own mistakes and losses. So as you know already, I track my record every month on a spreadsheet, and these are my treasure because these are my own trades and I cannot rely on myself on these trades. And sometimes I look back my trades a couple of years ago and I laugh myself. Like if I'm there now with my own skill right now, I will never trade like that. So, but this is how we also know how much we have improved from last year or a couple of years ago up until now. So it creates me some confidence in that way. Right, okay, let me check the next one from KFX. It says, I really appreciate your honesty and willingness to share your experience with Forex. We tend to think we are the only ones making mistakes, but you let us know everybody make mistakes and it's normal. Yes, it is normal, right? It is normal. Because, we are not perfect. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. And yes, I make mistakes again also. So that's why I select this topic. If I'm perfect, maybe I don't know about that. I don't know about the mistakes, but again, I'm not perfect, of course, and I think there is no mistakes in the world, right? There is no such a mistakes in the world. There is only like experience or learning or success, as one of the GCS members said, actually. Yes, Salomon says, remember trading is a game of probability. You may do all you can, but still you lose. Never question your ability. Better review your strategy. That's right, that's right. You get the idea, right? Yes. All right, Maru-san, yes. Okay. Rich says, thank you for life. It's really helpful. You're welcome. Okay, Akbar also thank you for joining. Long time. Thank you for joining. It's nice to see everyone here. all my old friends. Thank you for joining her here in the community. Okay, JCNK says in terms of strategy, just strictly follow the rules. In terms of psychology, just control the emotions and accept that the market is always right. Right, okay. Yeah, we have to follow the market, right? We have to follow market and we never blame market. Market is like Mr. Market who has emotion, who can't control his emotion. So sometimes I say it's like the market's like the weather in the mountain. It actually sunny day suddenly turns out to rain or cloudy sky. But I think I'll talk about that topic in the next one. Okay, so the next advice for me is, a next topic about the same mistakes is this. Not enough capacity to trade. This is very important in psychology too. Not enough capacity in terms of emotion in life. So you may be too busy, or you may have too much stress in life. For example, you may be ill, you may broke up with loved one, for example, or you may lost a job, you may have some stress in life. And if you're too much caught up with this stress in life, and if you're too busy, then you may make mistakes again because you lose focus on your next race. So this is, I think, another typical type of those who tend to make mistakes and losses. So so this is actually me. I tend to think about something else and cannot focus on trading. For example, when I had the meeting, when I had the party at nighttime, and I took the trade, I was screenshot and took the trade, but I was always thinking about the party on that night. And I didn't focus on the trade, on the charts, and I lost something. I didn't notice something, the news I had, for example, and then the market went back, and that was a huge mistake. So yeah. So if you're too busy in your brain about something else, then you may lose focus. So that's a capacity also. Also, the more you lose your capacity, the more you make mistakes. So mistakes compound, and it repeats over and over again. So my advice for those who thinks you don't have enough capacity right now is this. Know your capacity first. So that means you have to monitor your own emotion, and if you feel you're overwhelmed right now, then never trade. Never check chart and trades. Always be able to focus on your analysis and trades. Also be brave to stay away from the markets. And why I say the brave is you have to be able to be against the FOMO. You have to commit yourself to avoid the FOMO, fear of missing out, and stay away from the markets. Also take a good rest. So again, if you're too busy and if you have no capacity to trade, then most likely you make mistakes and you may not be able to make profits in the long run, and you may not be able to shift yourself from job to trade. So this balance is really important. Emotion is closely related to trading, and that is for sure. That's for sure. So back when I was in Japan, because the market started to move at nighttime, when I had the big day on that day, I don't really check charts. I kind of stay away and check again, or I take a nap and then check charts afterwards. I have to be fresh to focus on the trades. So that's a fourth idea. And the last one I wanted to mention is this. This is also another typical ones that are that get used to mistakes, so you don't feel mistakes again, or get used to losses and you don't feel losses anymore. Yeah, this is also me before. Like I get used to losses too much so that I actually became upset, and I was like whatever and I took the next trade and lost, and then I say whatever, and then I took the next one and lost whatever, and just keep going and keep losing money. So I was so used to using mistakes and losses, and that was my mistake overall. Yeah, because we as human beings, we tend to get used to something, right? So let's say when you go to the hot weather like in Dubai, first time I came to Dubai, I thought this is very hot, but now I'm kind of used to it. So we get used to something is human nature. Also losses and mistakes also is the same thing. And also we don't want to change. Biologically speaking, we don't want to change and think no one's perfect. Conditioned to think that no one's perfect, so I'm not perfect, I make mistakes, so I don't care about the mistakes, was my thinking pattern. Do you have that feeling also? I'm not really sure, but I was kind of pessimistic in that area because I kept losing, and I keep forgetting about something important. Sometimes, let's say I waited for 3 days, and finally I got the entry chance, and I enter trade, and then that's a big news in 10 minutes, and then I lost. So I was really mad myself that I was trying to win back the losses, and also I was trying to win back the last 3 days of waiting time. So yeah, that was my big mistakes. So in psychology, we say this is self-fulfilling prophecy. Like what we think, what we say becomes true. So my advice for those who are already get used to mistakes is this: be open to change. So when you stick to one thing, then it may be a timing to change yourself. Also changing location, for example, you might want to change a location or relationship around or job, etc. You may want to change to refresh yourself, and so that you don't get used to the same mistakes again. So for me also, like previously my camera was facing that way, but now my camera is facing this way, and my desk is also facing this way. So I changed the location of the desk. And part of the reason was because I didn't like the reflection on the window when I do the live stream, but also because I had the break-even months for the July and August, or the few loss on the July and August. I wanted to change myself. I wanted to refresh, and that's also the reason why I changed the location of the desk, so that I can refresh and I can keep going that way. So you can change your dress. Maybe every time you take trades, you may dress like casual, but try dressing formal and take trades. This is just an idea, so yeah, it may not really for you, but you may change your desk. You might want to change your PC or monitor or music that you play usually. Then that may help also, so that you don't get used to one condition always. Also, workout is important too. You have to move your body, and practice and exercise workout is important too. So no one's perfect, and that's right, but we better avoid possible mistakes. And that is my conclusion about this topic. So again, there are 5 advices or 5 common traits or characters I think it's for those who repeat the mistakes. So again, first, feel sad but never improve. These people tend to make mistakes and losses, and those who blame your ability may make mistakes again, and who says, no, I know, but if he doesn't know, then he makes mistakes again. Also, not enough capacity to trade may cause mistakes. Also, get used to the mistakes. Also, may mistake and compound the mistakes again. So yeah, so these are the how to say, like the traits or personality. Looking back my own trading history to think like this. Okay, so let me check some comments here now until the end of live today in about 5 minutes or so. Okay. All right, Omar says, when did you decide to leave for trading? I'm sure everyone thinks that, but some of them doesn't have enough money. Some of them doesn't have knowledge. What's your advice for trading for living? Yeah, so trading for living, it doesn't really matter how many trades or how many years you trade, or how much you have, how much knowledge you have. It doesn't really matter. But what matters is a performance. My advice is that at least for the half a year, 6 months, and on the live account, live trades, if you have return of 10% average, then you can quit the job and start to be a full-time trading. But 10% may be a bit, bit of a goal. So if not, then you can do the back test by the Forex Tester and get the result of out of 100 trades, you have at least PF5, profit factor 5, or you have a return of 80 to 100% out of 100 trades. Then you may consider leaving job and trade full time. But even so, even you have that result in the tester, I still recommend you to trade on the live account or the live market at least for 3 months and see some decent result, and then quit the job. So again, how much you know and how much you have and how many years you trade do not really matter whether you quit a job or not. You have to see the performance, and based on performance, you decide whether you quit the job or not. Okay, Alfonso says, I have double my drawdown available due to fixed money management and control FOMO. Now I'm profitably, I'm pips in my prop firm, although still negative in euros. Patience is a key. Right. Yeah, patience is a really key to success. So again, do not focus on one single loss or a few losses. Along the way, the losses are the part of the process. Also, mistakes are the part of the process. So for me, right, what I think is that deep in my heart, there's no such a thing like a mistakes. There's always learning, but no mistakes. I think the mistakes are the part of the way to success. Okay, Jay says, thank you for your dedication. This knowledge may be boring, but it's a core knowledge. Only experienced traders can understand it completely, even if it's important, but new traders always skip. Yeah, yes, that's right, because I used to skip also in these kind of topics. If all my focus was to make profits, and if I make profits, then I don't really care about anything. That was my mindset. But after years of experience and looking back, I think these topics are very important, but these topics are the key to success in the long run. So there should be some stages along the way. The first stage, I think, is to know about the markets, to know about the indicators, and to know how to enter, exit, and so on. And that will be the first step. And second step goes on to the money management, how to risk correctly, and how to manage the drawdowns and lot size correctly, and how to manage the stop losses correctly. This is, I think, the second step. And the third step is about the psychology like this. So this is, I think these steps are, I think, typical for almost all the traders. But I think looking back my own career, I should have gone backwards. I should have mastered and know about the risk management, also psychology, and then start to learn the strategies, entry and exit strategies. Looking back, I think so now. Yeah, I think and I say this and I talk like this on my YouTube, and some people call me sensei, like teacher, but at the same time I'm also a teacher of the markets. I keep learning and I keep improving my trades, and I do all these on my own also. So in that sense, me, not only yourself, but also myself also learning, keep learning every day and every month. And this journey never ends, because I feel if I stop learning, if I stop improving, that's it. That's the end of my career. It's like the water, the water, if we have the water in a pod, then it stays there and it goes bad. But like on the river, as long as the water floats, it keeps fresh. So we have to keep floating. We have to keep learning and improving and moving on, because as soon as we stop learning, as soon as we stop improving by overconfidence or whatever, then it's so easy to drop down and to keep losing. And especially when you start to lose, you don't know what to do. I think that's the biggest mistake. Okay, FT Images says, hello from Brazil, thank you very much for all the advice. These lessons are very much more important than TA. Yeah, thank you so much for your comment. Yes, I think this is really important. So like this, every Saturdays, I talk about this psychology topic, and yeah, based on my experience, I share as much as I can. So hopefully you learn also something new on these live streams and on the videos, and keep improving on your own journey. Okay, so yeah, I guess I will end the live for now and switch to the Ichimoku membership live. But this is Saturday, so markets are closed, so I think we have to relax and stay away from the charts, stay away from the markets, don't think about the trades in the markets. Sometimes we have to have some distance psychologically between yourself in the charts and trades. One of the things I do is playing the violin. You can see the violin, two violins here. This one is a real, the wood violin, and this one over here is an electric violin, electric. But when I play the violin, I can forget everything else. So fully focus on the violin play, and after I play the violin, I feel so fresh. I think same is true in workout, exercise, or anything you do. We have to have switch on and off. So never keep turning on your switch of the Forex or trading. You have to switch off and then switch on when you take trades next time. So yeah, again, thank you so much everyone, and I hope to see you again And until I see you next time, please stay healthy and stay safe and stay gold. Alright, bye from everyone. またね. Thanks so much.